Today we're going to be looking at a passage in James chapter 4. As we deal with uncertainty here in this life, it's important for us to remember what James tells us here in this passage. So we're going to look at James chapter 4, verses 13 through 15. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city, and spend a year there, and engage in business and make a profit. Yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. At the beginning of this passage, James is addressing the practice that we all have of making plans for the future. He talks about those who say that we will go to this city over here, we're going to spend some time there, we're going to engage in business and make a profit. All of us have different plans that we make and different intentions that we have of what we are going to do in the future. And there's nothing wrong with making these plans. James does not tell us don't make plans for the future. Instead, he tells us that we need to recognize that our life is uncertain and our life is short. And what happens tomorrow is something that we simply do not know. We can make plans, we can make predictions based upon what we think might happen, but really we don't know. He says your life is a vapor. It appears for a little while and then vanishes away. If you see steam coming off boiling water, we get that image in our mind that it's there, but it's quickly gone and there's no trace of it left behind. That is what our life is like. When we think about where we are in the grand scheme of things, we are here on earth for a short period of time, and our life could be over at any time. It's not meant to sound morbid, it's just the reality of our existence here in this life. And so James says, make your plans, decide what you intend to do, and pursue those goals and those plans, provided they fit within the context of what God has instructed us to do and allowed us to do. Make those plans, but he says, do this with the recognition that your life is short. Say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. We need to remember always our dependence upon God and be mindful of Him, that we are accountable to Him, that in everything that we do, whatever plans that we make, it has to fit in the context of us being servants of God and obeying His will. So as we face an uncertain future, we are getting ready to go into a new year. We always make plans for New Year's. Often we make resolutions or set goals. Those are all fine to do. But if this year has taught us anything, it's that we really don't know what can happen in the future. Our plans could change. They could be altered. Something could come up that would completely change the direction of our life. And our life itself is a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Let's remember our place in the grand scheme of things and not think that, well, we don't need to acknowledge the brevity of life, that we don't need to acknowledge God and our dependence upon Him. We need to remember our dependence upon God, and in everything that we do, recognize that we are subject to the frailty of life. And go on, live our life, do the things that we intend to do, but always do it in a way that is pleasing to God and where we will be ready to meet the Lord whenever our time here on earth is over.